Hello, everybody. It's Becky here, Aunt Beck's Creations. And this week I've made 5 dresses. Before I start sharing the dresses, I wanted to tell you guys I've had a couple people ask about interest in it. And I'm sorry, one gal, you posted that you wanted more information, and then your comment just disappeared after that. I don't know what happened, but what I've done is Madi at Madi Sews has done 2 videos so far for this year. Now, the information video is the second link in the description box. And then the first link is for a challenge that has been put up that came midweek. And so I made 3 dresses one way, and then I did a couple to enter the challenge. I need to go back and watch that again. I know that I don't know if it's for August or September. So I don't know if I'm early to the game or what. So I've got to go back and watch Madi's video again. But I thought I'd come on and I'd share the dresses that I made for Project Dress a Girl for this week. So let me get the pattern out. I used the same pattern that had the dress with the big pockets on the side that I shared last time. But these dresses look totally different. They look more like B with a big pocket on it. So I'm going to just start sharing these. This is Simplicity 137, and then it has an A, 1379A. And I'm just going to start sharing them. So the first one I did was this one here with the butterflies. And I think the butterflies were a remnant that I picked up at Joann Fabrics. I'm trying to get rid of something real quick. The color is a little off, but you get the gist of the dress, right? And hi, Janet. When I started sewing this one, I had my curtains open here. I have this huge window here. It goes almost the full length of this room. And I noticed the light was shining through. So I went to my stash because the bodice on this one is actually already lined. And I just went to my stash and I tried to find something, and I found some white muslin for this one. So this just has some inexpensive white muslin inside as a lining. You can't reverse it because there's exposed seams. They're finished, but it's not made to be reversible. And I will note also that on this pattern, this opening on the back does not look like this. What I've done is let me see if I can grab one of these pattern pieces, and I'll show you what I did real quick. On the piece for the back, it is supposed to go straight up and down like this, straight up and down. I feel like we got so many shadows. Hang on. I don't know if that'll be any better or not. It's just kind of a weird time of day. But anyway, it's supposed to go up and down, and you're supposed to sew to the big dot, and then you're supposed to put a button or something up here. Well, one of the things about Project Dress a Girl, no buttons, no snaps, no zippers, no functional interactive closure, I guess. You can have it tie if you use fabric, not ribbon. Don't use ribbon as your ties because it doesn't stay tied and it just aggravates them. But I got to thinking, because on this dress, it has this V on the back, so you can get it over your head. right? So I thought, why can't I take this concept and put it to this 1379 pattern? So what I did is I just took and I folded an angle from the top, just a little past the small dot you see up here. And then I put it at an angle to end at the big dot. And I just folded that over. And this is where I cut the fabric. So on the part where it tells you to sew the center back seam, you would sew from the bottom to the large dot with right sides together for the facing and the front bodice piece. But then what you would do after you got this length here sewn, you would flip and you would put right sides together of the facing and the bodice front, or I mean the bodice back. So it would be the same fabrics together here, but here, this would be your lining and your dress. So you can see here, you have right sides together of this outside fabric, as well as the lining is like that. But here you have to make this V, so you have to put the right sides together of the dress fabric and the facing fabric so that you end up with this V here. That's how I alleviated a need for buttons or snaps or loops or any of that. And I think that'll work just fine. And it gives it a nice little finish detail. I did go back and forth across here just to keep it from, wearing weird. So that was my first dress. This one has heart pockets. It's got the Project Dress a Girl label on it because that's one of the requirements is the label. So I'm going to hang that one up. All right. Now this next one, all of these dresses are made the same way on the back just to get rid of the need for a button. So hi, Kendra. How are you? So now this next one is getting hit with the most likes, both on Facebook and on Instagram. And it's the little purple dress with the planets on it. And this one, I made the great big pocket. And on the pattern piece, it shows to divide this into 3 pockets, but I only did right down the middle. So it's 2 pockets right next to each other, because I thought if I divide this into 3 pockets, they're going to be very small pockets. So I just sewed it in the middle on this one. And again, this is the purple, the solid purple, I think was some form of lining or a broadcloth. It's pretty sheer. And I didn't have any more inexpensive muslin. So I just went to my stash and I found white fabric. I used a tone-on-tone that's got these cute white dots. You can kind of see them there. And I used that. Again, it's not meant to be reversible. It's just meant to pull on and wear. But that was, I didn't tell you. This one was a size 3, the blue one. And this one's a size 4. Uh-oh. And one of the size 1s just decided to jump at the floor. And I've already shared all of these other dresses that you see hanging here. So you'll have to go back and watch those videos. I'm going to put it in the little thing so maybe it won't fall off. All right. Now, the next one is between the purple one and this one. Scott says this is his favorite, he thinks, the groovy dress. And this one's got heart pockets again. The groovy lining to match the groovy skirt. And again, I had to line this skirt because the fabric was, I don't know about you guys if you've been fabric shopping lately. And a lot of what I have here is from remnants or something I've thrifted. But the quality of the fabric has gone just, ugh. So I've lined this one too. This one's a tone-on-tone floral. The lights just don't like it at all. But we all love this one. And it's got the dragonflies on the top. Yep, they're dragonflies. They kind of look like butterflies in this crazy lighting. Let's see if this will work. Let's see if that works. Oh, that's much better. I pointed the light, that loud light, the other way. That's more true to what this dress looks like. And this one was a size 5. So now comes the point where Madi comes on this week and she says, "You've been issued a challenge." And I don't remember the gal's name, but the link to the challenge that Madi announced is down below. So I need to go check out this gal that's issued the challenge to make some of these dresses reversible. And I will also add that she has offered a pattern for everybody to make some reversible dresses. Now, my reversible dresses that I made today and yesterday are not using her pattern. They're using this Simplicity 1379A. But I do want to go back to Madi's video from midweek, which is listed below, and find out about this gal and her dress pattern. It's a real easy pattern that she has. It's just like a rectangle up here and on the back. And then you just gather a skirt up and attach it to that little strip. And I think it has tie straps on the top. So that might be something if you want to join in, but you're not comfortable with a sewing pattern. You might want to check out this free dress pattern that this gal is offering up for us to use. It might be worth you trying. It might be really easy to do. But anyway, let me show you my reversibles. So I've shared these on Instagram already. So this is the first one. And it's got a nice big pocket on it. It's got the label. And I did ask Madi if both of the dresses that are included in the reversible needed the label. And she said that it would be nice, but if you didn't have enough labels to do that, don't sweat it, she said. So I have plenty of labels. And this is giving me a way to get my labels used up faster. So I put a little label. It says, "I'm reversible. This dress is a size 5. So y'all want to see the other side of it? So we'll take it off and we'll do the big woo. Get it back on my hanger. And this is what it looks like if you flip it around. This is a red and white like candy stripe. Looks just like those uniforms the little candy stripers used to wear back in the day. I don't think they do candy stripers anymore. Hi, Pam. So this is the second one. Again, I did the little trick of where I've gotten rid of the whole button opening. It's just a little V. It's meant to look like it's supposed to be that way. So I hope it does look like it's supposed to be that way. So that was my first reversible. And now this one gave me fits, but I've got it done and I'm tickled to death. I posted pictures and it still had some issues, and it's very clear to see in those pictures that the one fabric that I got like a whole bolt of at the Goodwill bins, it had those little dolls all on it. Let me tell you something about that fabric. Oh, anyway, it grows. It grows and grows and grows and grows. So let me get a drink. Oh, thanks, guys. Sorry about that. I don't know where that gremlin came in my throat. But anyway, let me show you what I've done. So here's one side of it, and it's got the big pocket. But this time I decided to mix it up. So this is all daisies in pink with the green pocket. And then you'll notice there's something happened here since I posted my pictures. I had this bias tape in my stash. I got it off a girl on Etsy. She makes the most beautiful, quirky bias tapes. If you just look up bias tape on Etsy, I'm sure you'll come across her. I bought this several years ago. It's really pretty. And I've gotten several of her bias tapes. Now that I've learned to make my own, I'll just make my own once I use hers up. So let's flip it and do the big reveal. Do, 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 do. Put it back on the hanger before I show you. This one's a size 7 too. I haven't labeled it yet, but it's reversible. And I decided to put heart pockets on this side because the little girls, the only thing that really kind of creeps me out is on the side. She's attached at the head to the one on the front or the back. But it's hardly noticeable if you're looking straight on or from behind. But I was wondering if I was going to be able to use that. It's a very thin fabric, but when Madi said the challenge is up to make reversible, I said, I can do that. I can use the little girl fabric. I just hope that this dress does not fall in line with the don't use any cartoons, no name brand stuff. So I'm hoping this doesn't fall into that. This was some designer's fabric that I got at the thrift store for like a couple dollars for a whole bolt. So I've got a lot of this. I'm going to send some to my mom. And again, you can see what I did is I pressed this skirt straight down and it created some folds down here. And I said, well, I'm not going to try to cut that. What I'll do is I'll get some of that fun bias tape and I'll attach it and flip it to the inside and sew it down. And that's what I've done. And all my pockets have their labels. And all of the pockets are also fully lined. And I put the label on the part that would be on the outside before I sewed the pocket together so that there's no stitching to rub on a little girl's hand on the inside. It's just fabric in there. I think about the finishes the entire time. Because I want it to finish well. I'm a little bummed about this neckline being a little, but I think it's still pretty. And I think a little girl will like it. So those were the dresses that I made for Project Dress a Girl this week. I need to put the labels on this one. And I'm going to have to figure out some place to store these until they're ready to go. I almost wish I had a garment pole, a garment rack with just a straight pole, and then I could just hang them by size and keep better track. This rack I have here, I bought at Walmart when we were in Greenville for like $25 when we didn't have a dryer, and I would hang our dressy like Scott's dress shirts and work shirts and stuff on it out on the porch to dry. But yeah, it works for this. So I am up to 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 dresses, but you get 2 bonus dresses in these 2 dresses because the little girls could, flip them around. So I'm going to make more reversible dresses because they are easy to do. I'll tell you what I did to make this dress reversible. I can do that too. I had cut this pink out, and then I wanted to use this. So you have basically 2 fronts, 2 backs. And what I did when I attached it to the bodice, I I stitched 1/4 inch away from the bright pink's edge. Okay. And then I folded it away from this edge. And then I just attached the bodice to the light pink. Okay. Then once it was attached, let me show you. I brought my bright pink up that I had folded about a 1/4 inch in, and I just covered the seam. I trimmed the seam where I attached the bodice to the light pink skirt. I trimmed it down to a 1/4 inch. And then this was folded over a 1/4 inch. And I just kind of got it to cover the actual seam. And then I just stitched around. So that way on this dress, the stitching is real close to the edge. And that is why when you look at this side of the dress, it's got more of a stitching farther up because that's where the dark pink went up over the edge of that. So that's why that's like that instead of being just on the edge. Now, if you wanted to hide that, you could add a trim around there. Any kind of trim. You could, there's several ways you can hide a connection like that. And that would add even more interest to it. The only reason I didn't think to do that on a reversible dress, I would worry about the trim on the inside, maybe irritating the skin. Another thing you could do is you could put a ruffle or lace on the bottom. There might be another way to cover that I'm not thinking of right now. So that's how I made those reversible. Now let me talk about this. I'm making another sundress. I didn't bring the original one out. One Thursday, I cut and sewed together a dress. Let me go get it. I feel like I'm in a full house. But this was the original dress. This one, I ended up making it fully lined with lightweight muslin because this butterfly fabric was very sheer. But what I noticed is it was pretty tight across my chest. So I went in search of how to do a full bust adjustment. And so I did it on the pattern piece, which is right here. All right. And this one's got, I've made a dart drop now too, but I'm going to redo this whole thing because this one ended up being so big that I'm pretty sure I misunderstood the instructions and I've made too large of an adjustment here. This is 1 1/4 inch adjustment. I think that was way too much. I think I needed 3/4 inch adjustment. So that would be 1.5 inches across the front of that. That's all I needed. And what I ended up with was 3 inches because I forgot to take away the 2 inches that's a normal high bust to full bust for a size B cup. And I just needed to go up 1 size. So I'm going to do 3/4 inch because it's 1.5 sizes a little bit bigger. So I'm going to retrace this pattern. This is another good reason to trace your patterns because now I can take and I can throw this one away. I can retrace it. I can do the full bust adjustment, which Karina at Lifting Pins and Needles, she has a very clear and concise and really nice instructions on how to do a full bust adjustment if you need to do that, if you're a sewer. So this is going to the trash. And this is my dress. I just right now, this dart is just tacked in. I can pull that right out. But what I'm going to do is after I make that adjustment to the newly traced pattern, I'm just going to fold this in half. I've disconnected the sides all the way down on both sides. So I can just fold this together because where I need to make the change is all going to be on this side seam, okay? So there'll be some change to that. And then I can just sew it up the rest of the way. The neckline's already finished. And if I remember right, the armholes take bias tape, which I might use some of that fun bias tape that I used on the little dresses, this down here. That would work on there. I have some left. So that's my plans for this. This was a fabric I got at Joann's off that closeout table. And Howard's wanting to get on everything. And I didn't pay a lot for it, so I've been kind of using it. If I can get this pattern, fine-tuned, it's super fast to make, and I love the shape of this sundress, and it's really comfortable done in cottons. So that's all I have to share. I know I'm doing this impromptu and it's not Friday, but I haven't slept well in about a month, and I went to the doctor on Thursday. She's really my nurse practitioner. She's awesome. And she gave me a prescription for a sleeping pill. I think it's called trazodone. Well, let me tell you, I took half a tablet. She said, start with half a tablet. Well, you know what it did for me? It jacked me up and fine-tuned my focus. I did all of the laundry overnight. I did 2 loads of dishes and put them away because Greg had cooked after I had cooked. So there was lots of dishes still waiting. So I got all that done. I watched things with the earphones on. And I was up. I got 30 minutes of sleep that night. Well, then last night and the night before, I took 2 melatonin. Melatonin, is that right? Anyway, I took 2 of those gummies. I got the kind that's sugar-free, and I've slept really good. My brain feels really clear for the first time in a long time. So that's why I could push through, and I got 5 dresses done this week. So we'll see what I come up with for next week. And that is all I have to share for this week. My goal is 4 to 5 dresses a week, and keep going until I've used all my labels. I don't know if I'll do this next year or not, so I'm putting all in on this. I guess it really depends on if I use up my Project Dress a Girl fabrics. I have been buying fabrics at the thrift store and remnants, and I had fabrics in my stash. I had bought some fabric last year with a gift card my sister had given me for my birthday, and I definitely want to make something with those. I think I might make something with some of that to send to one of our young ladies that is expecting a baby girl. So, and it's in her favorite color. So that's why I'm thinking I might sneaky make a dress and send it to her. But anyhow, I think that's it. Any questions on any of the dresses, techniques, any of that kind of thing before I sign off? I've got kitty cats surrounding me. Scott's trying to sleep in the recliner in the other room. Howard, do you want to say hi? He's like, no, I want you to get off there. All right. Well, I will let you guys go then. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.